1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 5,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
one leg up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Stretch once more. Go back here. Okay guys, just a quick one. I'm gonna get some drink. Get ready. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go show you guys some concepts, the way that I like to progress my attacks, you know. And then this kind of concept that I'm gonna apply today is a kind of concept that, independent of what the guy knows what's coming or not, I can still go through. It's not like a surprise attack, you know. Like a lot of my setups and my games, I tend to think this way, you know. That's why sometimes goes under control, but slow but under control. So this is like a little bit of a different style that I like to use. One thing that we're gonna be thinking about before anything, you know, is like make sure that he cannot start escaping aside control, you know, because sometimes we tend to fight against the problem, but instead of beforehand fight to don't allow the problem to develop. So you fight for a smaller against a smaller thing, you know. One of the things that I like to emphasize here, that one of the little tricks I actually even mentioned before here, when I get to the side control, I don't necessarily put all my weight constantly on one side, unless if I'm focused only on the shoulder. If I'm focused around the whole body, I like to keep myself kind of balanced under control. Like for example, I like to hold a lot his hips. So even though sometimes I don't squeeze the hips by the ribs, but I'm actually pulling his body towards me and towards my knee to avoid he move the hips away. Therefore, that knee, that usually is a very annoying knee, right? We try to pass the guy's guard, we get to the side control, the guy goes, whoop, his hip escape, put the knee, push you back to the half guard. This is one of the most annoying things for me. So that's why I try always to keep that control here, because if you cannot move the hips out, the knee will never be a problem. And then of course a balance with my whole control over here. One of my tactic constantly is to keep the guy's elbows under my surveillance. Like always controlling constantly to don't let the elbow touch the floor. I think once he put the elbow on the floor, that means that he can open some gap to roll. I can expect something from him, but I like to keep under my control towards my attack, to independent of what he knows, I can still succeed. So this elbow is under my control, and I like to have the other one under my control. Sometimes that's what happens. The elbow is underneath, and I don't have pull under control. So that's one of the attacks I'm going to show today. This is going to be how to get that elbow. I like personally try to go to one side and then put it nice and tight, and it goes in. Sometimes not so easy, okay? But can you see that I'm not actually overcommitting myself to one side here? But as long as I have that elbow, that's what I meant, he cannot throw me over with so much power, because he needs to put this elbow on the floor to generate enough power to push me over. So if I have the elbow, if I go forward, he push me over here, look, he just can start, but can never finish. So with this in mind, I can go to the side and come back in. Sometimes it's very difficult. The guy is strong, you know, and it goes here like, doesn't have enough power. So that's when I go and I grab the triceps, even though the guys are nice and tight. Just go to the triceps, rock him forward, and then turn. There, I use a different part of my body to use the concept, which is keeping the elbow above the ground. I mean, my body under his elbow. Like that, he can never put, if I squeeze inwards, I have one elbow, I have the other elbow, try to put this elbow on the floor. So the height, that's one little trick, look at this. The height doesn't change, put the elbow on the floor. See? So the movement downwards doesn't exist. only has this movement, and that's when I start to put in place the concept of controlling. Even though he knows what's coming, I have the control. So if I focus on one direction is on my control, no matter what, if I have the arm over here, in a lock over here, now I'm not worried about upwards, because if he upwards, he gives me an arm. So he cannot pull, and try to move around now here. Yeah, I'm not actually squeezing to don't let him move down, I'm just trying to keep it tight. And my elbow, his elbow is under my control, so he can never put the elbow on the ground, so I don't really need to be, oh my god, he cannot move the elbow. Just be tight, keep it tight, okay? And then that's what I want you to see at the moment, is this transition first, then I will complete the submission like you already know, but I just want to show a little detail that I use different. Okay, so again, elbow, tricep, rock, come back in, and make sure the knee is very low. Don't mistake, you guys already know what's going to happen here, right? I want to pass my leg over the head. You guys already know that. But don't mistake, getting closer to the head is going to be easier, because it's not going to be easier. Yeah? So focus on lock your floating rib to his floating rib. And then the leg will come. It's not going to be so simple because he will defend, right? So that's what we're going to do. And that's when I'm going to talk about the concepts on how to keep the key points under your control. Even though he knows coming, he cannot do nothing about it. Okay, so let's just get this right first. Okay, from here, elbow, control the tricep, rock forward, shift so the knee goes straight under his ribs, cage, and then be kind of low. If I have the elbow under my control, he cannot put his elbow on the floor. There's one escape that actually I have a lot of people do this, is very successful. It's like by putting this, bridging up here, and sitting up at the same time. Sit down, boom, but push, yeah, and push up. Yeah, and end up here. You know, usually short guys are very explosive on that. But this only gonna happen if I don't have the elbow, because he will need this hand to post and go forward. So if he try to do the same thing here, it's not gonna happen. So that's one little thing that you need to work. Okay, so let's just focus on this switch, feel the control, then we're gonna go for the next step. Okay, push. Se tiver para dentro, aí é que eu vou mostrar uma situação que não necessariamente eu tenho que ver ela, entendeu?
Por favor, ensina a gente ficar com a mão no peito, entendeu?
O Bernardo tá dificultando.
Tá dificultado. É aquele carinha chato, né? Que vai, faz assim,
Isso!
faz aí.
Aí me perguntando, mas e se eu colocar a mão? Agora no Serra Pé, uma série de principal posição, deu uma parada aqui, ó. Ele fica de um jeito aqui, velho, parece que você vai...
Hi, my name is Braulio Estima. I'm here at the Marcelo Garcia headquarters, and I'm with the pleasure to explain all the most good-looking class jiu-jitsu technique for you guys, apart from the dummy. No, he's good-looking. Listen, I throw you a little bit of some stuff just to get you guys a little bit intrigued how and this and that. So I just start like breaking down a little bit more. Okay, look. Remember, the object that I want here is stop him to start something that can become a problem, which is make the hips, pass the leg over my head. You know, I don't want to fight against the leg coming to me. I want to stop what he needs to do to the leg to come to the top of me, if it makes sense. Okay, for example, one of the most common situation that happens here is a guy push my head and pass the leg over. Oh my god, this is the worst thing possible. But did you see that he did a little bit of a hop first? Did you notice? Look, can you pass the leg over again? Look, the hop, pass the leg, boom, right? So that means if that hop doesn't exist, the leg will never be a problem. Make sense? So that's how I think on the fight. I don't let him start the first movement that will become a problem later. Yeah, so if I have the elbow under control here, and I focus here, and I lock, if he comes here to put the leg over, it's not kind of a problem because he needs the hop first. So why worry about the leg? Do you understand? So other thing, my elbow is constantly pulling and locking. So the other situation I like to think about here, when as I hold the triceps, I don't only hold, but I actually do like a little bit of a arm wrestle, like, yeah, because I try to control as much as possible his part of the body. One question was this hand in or out? How can I end up here? Well, at this time, I'm trying to consider that the guy is here, is not with the hand through, okay? If he is like that, that's gonna be our next movement, okay? But for now, let's, most naturally, we're here, we pass the guy, goes here, that's when we start. We pass the guard, lock the hip, now I go up, triceps, turn, okay? One thing that I told in the first class, in the first section, was the height, yeah? About that he cannot put the elbow down. So if he doesn't put the elbow down, why do I have to have the elbow under my control? You understand? So I can use my hand to something else because the hand here is doing the job that my leg could be doing already. Okay, so I can actually free one part of my body to try to solve another problem, which, for example, this problem is actually annoying because then you can get everything very close and you don't have this. If the guy knows what's coming, keep it arching, it's going to be very hard for me to do the movement. Okay, so I will make all the, like cross all the ocean swimming and die in the beach on the other side. So that's not work, okay? It's not work. That's what you say in Portuguese. Okay, so what I like to do here is focus on what can he do to escape. So I had already focused on, he cannot start to move hips, he cannot put the elbow on the floor, he cannot put the other elbow on the floor because of my leg but not because of my hand. And now I don't want him to do this while I'm going there, because that's the thing. We get to here and we're excited. I have the arm, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna defend. And then look, it's gone. Why? Because I didn't manage to control this hand within my armpits here. But look, I need to build a little bit of a cage with my elbow, yeah? To don't let the hand come out. That's all I need to do. If I focus on keeping the elbow control, 1, 2, and then I don't let the cage come out, he won't be able to move out the hand because the height is not there, right? So how can he take this hand around this circle cage here if he's not pulling the elbow down? Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I lock here, try to put this elbow down. I don't need the elbow because my thigh is holding the elbow, the height. Do you understand? So I don't need to focus too much on that. So if I'm here, now becomes a trick. How can I push his head at the same time that I don't let the cage open? Because as soon as the cage open, it's gone. Yeah, he can put over the neck here, for example. Yeah, go here, yeah, and there's nothing to catch. So if I cannot separate, bring it together. So I come here, 1, look, it's not like the best comfortable situation or the best comfortable position to do, but I don't do because I feel comfortable. I do because I know what he needs. He cannot do it, you know. So I'm here. Look, try to take off the arm. Try to take off the arm. He knows from here. He already knows. Oops, it's coming, and I know that he knows, and he won't be able to do nothing if I hold those key points. So I compare this kind of technique, this system, like a juggler. You know, the better juggler are those that can handle the most spins at the same time while doing the presentation, right? So, but he never started with 10 pins at the same time. Start with 3, 4, 5, and they keep adding until you get better. So that's how it is. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can we do it? And that's how we become like a better juggler, a better fighter. Okay, on this scenario. So I'm here. 1, keep it tight, lock, look. Try to sit up the head. He can't. Try to flick off the arm. He can't. Look. 1, we go. And here you go. Do you understand? Let's go. You can tell that you cannot get this arm full out. So what you do is you let it go in his hand, push the elbow to keep him, Now we're going to stick this neck leg, this arm to always below the elbow, even if it's not your hand. Now, you're going to try to slide your leg away and put your knee in the place of your knee. Time! Once again, just like to say it's a big honor to share some content with you guys here. I passed a little bit more of the time, but I wanted to break down as much as possible. It's not all the time that here in New York, and especially here at Marcelo's Academy. Let's say thanks very much for the good reception. I felt great here. Thanks Marcelo, thanks Bernardo, Tati, Josh, everyone, and thanks for kicking my butt as well. Thank you very much.
You.
Guys, I wish you guys understand how this is such a good experience for me. Like someone that we know each other for a long time, most just from the competition, compete against each other, see each other like in the bleachers, in the tournament, talk a little bit, you know what I mean? And now we have the chance to train together, have a class from him, have him join our train some days, you know what I mean? It's just like amazing for me. Because the most important on my life doing jiu-jitsu was just do jiu-jitsu. Not about the business, not about the win, just enjoy doing this. And that's why I choose that, so it was great. But this is the most important. Today, I have a chance to reach that level that I have a contact, we have a friendship, and we can all be together in the same mat. Like forget about competition, forget about like which flag he is. Have someone like Braulio, imagine like Bernardo, everybody in the same mat. So that's I believe was my dream, even like without being able to imagine something that big. You know what I mean? I always wish to have something that important, but I could never imagine something that important. You know what I mean? Like this was too much to me. Imagine like my gym full of that level of jiu-jitsu. So I'm really appreciate that experience, and I'm looking forward to have more of this and with you, bro. But also I hope you guys enjoy that too. All right. So.
Guys, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.